After this session, I will share with you. Okay. Please share your email ID in our WhatsApp group. So let's just start our discussion on Fortinet Firewall box. So wait. Ruchika, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Ruchika.
Hello.
Okay, so first we will focus on topic discussion. Everyone, please turn off your mic. If you have any question, you can unmute. No problem. Okay, Mahesh, Ahmed, Bhaskar.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure,
So
sir.
now we can first focus on topic discussion today. It's just introduction session, you can say, guys. I can hear it. Okay. Ruchika, if you have any question, you can unmute your mic. Leena, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please turn off your mic. If you have any question, you can unmute
Okay.
your mic. No problem. Now, so let's just start our discussion, guys. Okay, my name is JAISWAL, and I will be your trainer for this complete Fortinet Firewall training. So this training is called NSE4 program, and these are the modules we can discuss in our complete training. These are the modules. So total we have 14 modules. You can see 14 modules, and let's start our topic discussion. What I can provide you from my side, So I can provide you slides and notes. So we have a proper notes for each topic, Okay, so the slides can help you. Now I can provide slides and notes. I can provide valid terms question for practice. I can provide you lab setup software so that you can create lab on your laptop. No problem. I will help you to set up the lab. No problem. So please share your email ID in our WhatsApp group so that I can share the lab setup software. And in next class, we can set up our lab. So slides and notes, valid terms, lab setup software, I can provide you. This complete training will take minimum 24 to 26 hours. Minimum. Our session is on weekend, so timing is fixed. 6 to 8, we can do our session. Okay, so let's start our topic now. First topic. So in Fortinet, we can discuss our introduction and initial configuration. This topic first. What is introduction and initial configuration? So we all are familiar with the CCNA concept, right? We all are familiar with the router and switches, right? We are familiar with the CDs. So same in case if I'm working with any firewall device, for example, we are working with Fortinet. So I need to know the product information. Like I'm familiar with the Cisco router series. I'm familiar with the Cisco switches series. So if I'm working with Fortinet firewall box, so I need to know the entry level firewall series or medium level firewall series. I need to know. So in introduction and initial configuration, first we will talk about product family information. Then we can go for the Fortinet certifications. Like in Cisco, we have CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, right? CCNA to CCIE. For example, in Palo Alto, we have PCNSA, PCNSE. In Checkpoint, we have CCSA, CCSE. In Fortinet, this training is called NSC program. It's called NSC program. So what is NSC certifications? This training is related with NSE4. So we are trying to learn NSE4. After NSE4, what we can do, I will tell you. Okay, so it's a part of initial and introduction configuration. Now we can go for the basic configuration. For example, how to access FortiGate firewall box through CLI option, or you can say how to manage FortiGate firewall box through CLI option, CLI. And yes, we have another option. You can manage your firewall device with graphical page. Why Fortinet is popular? Like Fortinet and Palo Alto, we have multiple vendors in the market, right? Everyone, can you hear me? We have multiple vendors in the market.
Yes, yes.
Meena, Mahesh, Rajneesh, Ruchika,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
right?
have one
We have,
question.
yes, yes. Any question?
Is it which NSE label we are going to cover on this in this session?
Mahesh, give me some time. I will tell you everything.
Okay.
Okay, I will tell you everything. Give me some time.
Okay, please.
So please turn off your mic, everyone. Okay, so So see, in market, we have multiple vendors for next generation firewall. This Fortinet is what? This Fortinet is a next generation firewall. So in market, we have multiple vendors. So why Fortinet? We need to discuss why Fortinet. What feature we have in Fortinet firewall box. So it's a part of introduction and initial configuration. Next, we can discuss the basic option, like all basic CLI command. Okay, all basic CLI command. Then we can go for the backup and restore, how to take a backup, how to restore configuration in Fortinet firewall box, how to upgrade our operating system in case if I want to create multiple firewall administrators. Okay, maybe in my organization we have multiple administrators to manage our FortiGate firewall box. So how to create it? So this concept is called RBAC. You can create multiple firewall administrator here. It's called role-based access control. So it's a part of introduction and initial configuration. Again, in introduction and initial configuration, we can talk about interface configuration. So like other vendor, we can focus on physical interfaces. We can focus on logical interfaces. Logical interfaces means what? VLAN interface, sub interfaces, right? Ether channel, for example. So yes, like other vendor, we can create logical interfaces like loopback. And yes, how to configure physical interface. I will tell you the both option, how to configure with the CLI, how to configure with the graphical page. So it's a part of introduction and initial configuration. So only this topic, this introduction and initial configuration will take minimum 2 to 3 hours to finish it. Only this introduction part. So once you will get the idea how to configure interfaces, how to do all the basic command, how to use graphical page. After that, you can go on to the routing configuration. Why routing? Because for routing feature, we have a dedicated device. It's called router, right, everyone? We have a router. So we can use router for routing feature, no problem. Why we are using router on next generation firewall? Because it's a Fortinet. It's a next generation firewall. So we need to know the feature of next generation firewall. We need to utilize next generation firewall feature. So why we are using routing concept? So Fortinet is giving you option like other vendor, like on Cisco ASA firewall box, on Cisco FTD, on Checkpoint firewall box, okay, on Palo Alto firewall box, you can configure routing. Maybe you are working in a small network and you have a firewall device only. You don't have any other L3 device. For example, you don't have any router and you want to configure routing feature, or you can say you want to connect your firewall device with internet directly. So yes, you need to configure routing. So here I'm not telling you the story, okay, what is routing, okay, what is static routing, but yes, here we will focus on static routing configuration. I will tell you the configuration option, how to configure it. I'm not telling you what is static routing, what is default routing, or dynamic RIP, OSPF, BGP. No, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you the story. You guys are familiar with the CCNA concept, right, everyone? Yes or no? Leela, Bhaskar, Amit, Rajneesh, Ruchika, Ahmed.
Yes, sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
You guys are familiar with the CCNA concept, okay? So I'm not telling you the story, okay? Here, I will tell you how to implement it. So how to configure static routing, or how to configure default routing, or how to configure dynamic routing. For example, we can focus here, RIP configuration, BGP configuration, and OSPF configuration. After routing, yes, you can connect different network with each other, no problem. Bhaskar, any question?
No.
Please turn off your mic. So yes, we can configure routing concept on 14 firewall box. The next topic is called NAT. You guys are familiar with the NAT concept, if you remember from CCNA classes. Okay, NAT. We all are familiar with the static NAT concept, right? Dynamic NAT concept and PAT option, right? Everyone, static, dynamic, and PAT. We all are familiar with these topics. But in Fortinet, if you talk about NAT concept, so we will discuss two type of NAT option. The first one is called source NAT concept, And the next one we can implement is called destination NAT. So in firewall, like in Fortinet, in Palo Alto, in Cisco, okay, in Checkpoint Firewall box, you can implement source NAT, you can implement destination NAT. So right now we are working with Fortinet. So in Fortinet, to configure source NAT and destination NAT, we have two configuration options. So first, you can go with the firewall policy NAT. We have two options. Two options are available for source NAT and destination NAT configuration. The first option is called firewall policy NAT. You can say firewall policy NAT. And second option is called central NAT concept. Central NAT. So here we will first discuss the basic idea about the NAT. I will tell you the basic idea. We can revise, no problem. And then I can tell you what is the scenario to use source NAT concept and what is the scenario to use destination NAT concept, and to implement source NAT and destination NAT, we have two configuration options. So either you can configure source and destination NAT with firewall policy NAT concept, or you can configure same source and destination NAT with central NAT configuration option. I will tell you the both. Okay, this NAT concept, only this NAT topic will take minimum 2 to 3 hours. Only this NAT concept. So guys, NAT we are using for translation, right? We can translate from one IP to another IP. Ahmed,
Yes.
we can translate from one IP to
public IP.
Yes. Yes.
it's not only for public to private, Bhaskar, okay? NAT we are using for translation. NAT we are using for translation. You can translate from one IP to another IP. It doesn't matter, okay? You want to translate into private, you want to translate private into public, or public into private, or private to private, or public to public. It doesn't matter, Bhaskar. Clear my point? NAT we are using what? Translation. Clear? So NAT we are using for translation, but if you want to allow traffic from one network to another network, you need to discuss firewall policy concept. See guys, we are working with 14 firewall box. But if you talk about other next generation firewall, for example, Palo Alto or Checkpoint Firewall device or Cisco FTD, it's a Cisco next generation firewall. So these firewalls are called JBF firewall device. You can say these are called JBS, zone-based firewall.
Hello.
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 So these, yes, Ahmed, any question?
No. Just your voice. Go on and come back.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
So here we have what? Palo Alto, Checkpoint FTD. So these firewalls are called what? These are called JBF firewall box. You can say zone-based firewall. So in case if you are working with any zone-based firewall, so the concept is what? In zone-based firewall box, concept is, for example, I have Palo Alto. So we have LAN portion. You can say LAN network, LAN zone. Another portion is what? It's called WAN zone. So to allow traffic from one zone to another zone, for example, I want to allow traffic from LAN to WAN side. So in case if you are working with any zone-based firewall, you need to configure security policy. To allow traffic from one zone to another zone, you need to configure policy. But Fortinet is not a zone-based firewall. No. In Fortinet, what we have a concept is, what? If you want to allow traffic from one interface to another interface, Fortinet is not a zone-based firewall. So no need to create any zone here. In Fortinet, in case if this firewall device is a Fortinet firewall box, so concept is what? If you want to allow traffic from one interface to another interface, you need to configure firewall policy. That is see, in Fortinet, you can say firewall policy. In Palo Alto, you can say security policy. In Checkpoint, you can say access control policy. Okay, in Cisco FTD, you can say access policy. In Cisco ASA firewall box, you can say ACL concept. So they all are same, okay? They all are same, but yes, in each firewall box, we have a separate feature to configure our firewall policy. But yes, I will tell you how to create firewall policy to allow our traffic through the firewall device. And in case if I'm working in a big network, and if you want to create multiple firewall policies, so how to create multiple firewall policy rule, how to delete, how to edit, how to manage, I will tell you. So for translation, you can use NAT. But if you want to allow traffic from one interface to another interface in Fortinet firewall device, you need to configure firewall policy. Clear? Mahesh, Rajneesh, Ruchika, Leena, Bhaskar,
Yeah,
Amit.
so firewall
Yeah.
policy, you mean like
Yes, sir.
this is also a zone like lane zone, vein zone, and DMZ zone. We can say the name is only changed, right?
Uh, in case if you are working with any zone-based firewall box, so you
Okay.
can talk about zone, but Fortinet is not a zone-based firewall box. In Fortinet, the concept is if you want to allow traffic from port number 2 to port number 1, you need to configure firewall policy. This is Fortinet.
So this policy only known as a zone, right?
It's not a zone, Mahesh. Okay, it's not a zone. I'm telling you the simple concept. If
Yeah,
if
from
if you are working with Palo Alto, so in Palo Alto, you need to create zone. For example, LAN zone you can create. This interface is fast Ethernet 0/0. So I can create LAN zone. This interface I can put into this LAN zone. And now I have another interface, for example, fast Ethernet 0/1 I'm using for WAN zone. WAN zone. So if you want to allow traffic from one zone to another zone, in Palo Alto, we have a concept of zone. But in Fortinet, here we have a concept of interface. Yeah.
Concept that's same, but name is only changed, right?
You can say, no, it's not the name. Okay. See, here we have a zone. Here we have a zone. Here we have a direct interface.
So in firewall in FortiGate we can say this one port to another. If
Yes,
we are going to
I will.
allow one port to another port, the same way we are doing in the Palo Alto also in the one port to another port. So we
No, no,
in
no.
terms of one
Palo,
port, so in we
no, no,
can say like
Mahesh,
one
Mahesh,
zone to other
Mahesh,
zone.
Mahesh,
So,
Mahesh, Mahesh, Mahesh. In Palo Alto, you cannot specify interface. In firewall policy configuration, I will show you. In Fortinet, you need to specify your interface only. You can select your interface. In Palo Alto, you cannot select any interface. Clear my point? You can select zone here.
okay, so particular interface we are bringing into particular zone
In Palo Alto.
in Palo Alto. But in Fortinet, we are just creating one firewall
You can
policy.
directly, yes, you can directly attach your interface. This is the option. Okay, in policy configuration, I will show you. When you
Okay.
create any policy rule, you will get the option to select your incoming interface, to select your outgoing interface. So you need to specify. Clear now?
So in this, in the same way we can create one not zone, but I'm just calling it a zone for our like that servers or other devices which we are keeping into that DMZ zone. Like that, we can also keep it in the FortiGate also, right?
Yes, but I'm telling you, you cannot create zone. I will tell you the option, okay, in Fortinet.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
have, if you want to put, if you want to know the concept of DMZ on Fortinet, I will tell you. Okay,
Okay.
how to
Okay.
create DMZ zone on Fortinet, I will tell you.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Amit, Bhaskar, Leena, Rajneesh, Ruchika, any question?
No, sir.
Clear now? Okay.
No, sir, all clear.
Okay. Now, so we can configure our firewall policy to allow our traffic. Now, the next concept we can discuss, see chapter number 5, 6, and 7. These three topics are related with next generation firewall feature. See, Fortinet is a next generation firewall. So we can create security profile here. These concepts are called security profiles. So why we need security profile concept? See, for example, here we have a firewall device. And this portion is your LAN portion. This side is a internet side, or you can say WAN side. Now, so as per your firewall policy, for example, you have a rule to allow your traffic from one interface to another interface. You have a firewall policy rule. Okay, no problem. So we have a firewall policy. And as per firewall policy, traffic is traveling through the firewall box. So what your firewall will identify in firewall policy, firewall will identify, okay, traffic is coming from this port incoming interface. Okay, and source is, for example, 192.168.10.10, and he's trying to communicate with 8.8.8. As per your policy, this traffic is traveling. No problem. Now, only your firewall policy cannot detect malicious information. For example, this connection is established. This inside machine can access server. Now he's downloading a file, for example, and this file is infected with some malicious code. For example, it is infected with it is infected with virus. So only your firewall policy cannot detect this malicious information. That is the issue. So what we can do, we can create here a security profile. We can use next generation firewall feature. For example, see here we have web filtering, application control, antivirus. So right now what I can do, I can create antivirus profile. I can create antivirus profile. Okay. So this profile I can create and I can attach with our firewall policy. So this time, if traffic is if this inside machine is trying to access a malicious file within a live session, if this inside machine is trying to access any malicious file, so your antivirus profile can detect this malicious information, this virus, behalf of antivirus signature database. Right now, guys, I'm giving you the basic idea. Okay, but we have a dedicated session for each security profile. I will tell you. But right now, I'm giving you the basic idea. What you can do, you can create antivirus profile, and behalf of antivirus signature database, your firewall can detect malicious information and can take action based on your configuration. For example, as per your action, if virus detected, please block. So within a live session, your firewall can detect virus and can take action. So I can create antivirus profile, and this profile I can attach with our firewall policy. Now we have other next generation firewall feature option. For example, application control. So Fortinet is a next generation firewall. So this firewall can detect application. This firewall can detect application behalf of application signature database. For example, in your organization, you want to block Facebook application. For example, Facebook application you want to block. So yes, you can block with application control. If you want to work with any specific application, you can go with the application control. Or in case if you want to work with application category, for example, I want to block all gaming category application. I don't know which application is a part of gaming category, but I want to block. I want to block complete category. For example, I want to block all social networking category application. Yes, you can do this with application control profile. So Fortinet Firewall Box can detect application behalf of application signature database. Now we have another option. It's called web filtering. What is web filtering concept? So in Fortinet, you can say web filtering. In Palo Alto, you can say URL filtering. In Cisco FTD, you can say URL filtering. So with web filtering, you can work with any specific URL. For example, in my organization, in my organization, I want to block this URL. I don't know anything about this URL, but I want to block it. So you can do this with web filtering concept. With web filtering, you can work with any specific URL. For example, I want to monitor this URL. I want to block this URL. So yes, you can do this. Or in case if you want to work with a URL category, for example, I want to block all political organizations website. I want to block all sports category website, because every website has a category, right? So I can go with the category based filter, or I can go with the specific URL. Clear my point, everyone? So we can work with web filtering concept. So these are called what? These are called security profile feature. We can add one more information here. We can add one more information, one more security profile. For example, file filter profile. Okay, what is file filter profile? So for example, in your organization, you want to work with a file extension, for example, file extension. File type, you can say, for example, in my organization, I don't want to allow exe file, exe and PDF file. So I don't want to allow exe and PDF. No one can upload or download exe file and PDF file in my organization. So what I can do, I can create file filter profile. With this profile, you can work with file extension. Okay, you can work with file type. So these four are called next generation firewall features. Clear my point, everyone? Web filtering concept we can discuss, application
Yes.
control, antivirus profile, and file filter concept. Ahmed, any question? Clear?
Yes, you mean the first will create firewall policy and then attach the security profile with the firewall policy?
Yes. See, if traffic is allowed, okay, if traffic is traveling through the firewall box, then you can attach your security profile, Ahmed.
Yes, okay.
If traffic is denied, then no need to attach your security profile, or you can say you cannot attach your security profile. Because if traffic is not traveling through the firewall box, then how your firewall will detect application? So if traffic is traveling, if traffic is allowed through the firewall box, then you can attach your security profile option. Amit, any question? Bhaskar, Leena, Mahesh, any
It's clear.
question? Rajneesh, Ruchika?
No, sir.
Okay, now we can discuss about FortiGate 80. What is FortiGate 80? Amit, any question?
No.
Okay, so please turn off your mic. Please turn off your mic. So now what we have, now we can discuss FortiGate 80. What is FortiGate 80? So see guys, I told you if you want to allow traffic from one interface to another interface, so you need to configure firewall policy in Fortinet. So yes, we can create our rule. So in rule, what we can define? In rule, we can define our incoming interface, outgoing interface, source IP, destination IP, and we can take action. For example, I want to allow my traffic. So I can define, for example, port number 2, my incoming interface, port number 1, my outgoing interface, source IP address is, for example, 200, 200, 210, and destination IP address is any, and action is what? Allow. So as per our firewall policy rule, traffic is traveling through the firewall box. So here we have a firewall device, and this inside machine can go on outside, no problem. As per our firewall policy rule, traffic is traveling through the firewall box. But with this firewall policy, you can see I don't have full visibility. For example, this rule name is called rule 1. So if someone will hit onto this rule 1, yes, I can verify the log information, no problem. I can verify the log, and in log, what I can get? In log, I can see only IP address information, incoming and outgoing interface information. That's it. But I don't know which user account. Maybe onto this machine we have multiple users. We have multiple users in organization, okay, and there are multiple. For example, three users are working onto this machine on a different time. Okay, they are working onto this machine. So you don't know which user account. Okay, which user account is trying to access this malicious file, or trying to access this application, trying to access this malicious URL, for example. You don't know, because in log, what you have only IP address information. You don't know which user account. So you don't have full visibility. So what we can do for full visibility, what we can do, we can work with FortiGate 80 concept. It's called firewall authentication. What we can do, we can create a user account. And to create user account, we have two options, everyone. We have two options to create our user account. First, you can go with local database. It means you can create user account in FortiGate Firewall local database. Okay, if you have a small network, so no problem, you can go with the local database, local storage. But in case if you are working in a big network, big scenario, for example, you have remote authentication server for user account information, for example, a Radius, for example, you have Radius server or TechX server or LDAP server or Microsoft Active Directory server, for example, for user account. So yes, I will tell you how to integrate our firewall device with these remote authentication server. No problem. I can tell you. It's a part of FortiGate 80. So what we can do, for example, we can create a user account, and these user account we can attach with our firewall policy. We can attach with our firewall policy. So whenever anyone, for example, if user number 1 is trying to access anything, so he need to put his information first. He need to put his username and password information first. Then traffic will go and hit onto the firewall box. Firewall will verify the rule information. And now this time in your rule, you are using user information. For example, user is user 1. So your firewall is checking all the information, and now traffic is traveling. And this time in your log, if you verify your log information, this time with IP address, you have user account information. So for full visibility, what we can do, we can go with the FortiGate 80 concept, or you can say it's called firewall authentication. And to create user account, we have two options. Either you can create user account in local database, or you can go with any remote authentication server. Okay, so these options are available. Clear my point? FortiGate 80, what we can do? Amit, Ruchika, any question?
Yes.
Lena, any question?
Sir, is it like MAC binding?
MAC binding.
Yeah, it's like MAC binding, FortiGate 80.
MAC binding. See, MAC binding it's a part of object configuration. See, you can create MAC address object and you can attach in your policy. So MAC address is a different thing. I'm talking about user account. Whenever you are working in big scenario, so you need to log in, right? You need to log in with username and password. Lena.
Okay.
So for full visibility, what we can do, if inside machine is trying to access any services, if inside machine is trying to access, for example, Facebook application, so he need to authenticate first. Okay, and if he successfully authenticated, then yes, he's allowed to access resources, or he's allowed to access through the firewall device. So now this time with IP address, I have full visibility. I have user account as a firewall administrator. I have a full visibility. I know which user account is trying to access this malicious file, which user account is trying to access this malicious link. Clear my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now,
Yes.
Ruchika, any question?
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay, now next concept we can discuss, it's called a virtual domain. See, in Fortinet, you can say virtual domain. Okay, in Cisco, you can say virtual firewall concept, virtual firewall. And in Palo Alto, you can say virtual system. So in Fortinet, you can say virtual domain. What is virtual domain? See, you can divide your single firewall box into multiple virtual firewall box. For example, I have a single firewall device, and this firewall device is connected with a switch. And in LAN side, we have multiple computers, you can say, or multiple departments, you can say, multiple departments. For example, this is your sales department. This is your marketing department. This is your HR department. So, okay, right now, so this is the connectivity, no problem. So we have a single firewall box. So let's talk about a scenario, okay? So the scenario is what? If I want a dedicated appliance for each department, for example, for sales and for marketing, for HR, I want to configure separate type of NAT policy, separate type of firewall policy, separate type of security profile, separate type of NAT configuration. I want separate configuration for each department. Or you can say for sales and for marketing, I want dedicated L3 firewall device. But for HR department, I'm looking for layer 2 firewall, for example, layer 2 firewall. So into the scenario, what you can do, you need 3 separate firewall box. And that is the issue. If you are going with 3 physical boxes, then what about cost? Cost is very high because you are going with 3 physical boxes. Okay, so what we can do here, into the scenario, we can purchase a single big box, and with the help of VDOM concept, what we can do, we can divide our single firewall box into multiple virtual firewall box. I'm not going to buy 3 separate firewall box. No, what I can do, I can purchase single box, And with the help of license, you can divide your single firewall box into multiple virtual firewall box. So this concept is called VDOM, virtual domain. So I can create marketing firewall box, for sales firewall box, marketing firewall box, and HR firewall box. Now these are the interfaces. These are called resources. What we have? Resources, or you can say interfaces. So first I can divide my single firewall box into 3 firewall box. Then I can assign interfaces. Guys, right now I'm giving you the basic idea. Okay, this is not a topic, so I'm giving you the idea only. So what you can do, you can divide your single firewall box into multiple, into sales, marketing, and HR, and you can assign your interfaces. For example, this is your port number 2, port number 3, port number 4, port number 5, port number 6, and port number 7. So first you can divide, then you can assign your interfaces to their respective firewall device. For example, port number 2 and port number 3, they are participating in sales firewall box. Now this time sales traffic is traveling via sales firewall box. HR traffic is traveling via HR firewall box. Marketing traffic is traveling via marketing firewall box. So this concept is called virtual domains. So how to divide our single firewall box into multiple firewall box, how to work with virtual domain concept. I will tell you everything, no problem. We have a topic. But right now I'm giving the basic idea. What virtual domain? You can divide your single firewall box into multiple virtual firewall box. Okay, clear my point, everyone? Now we can talk about next concept. It's called layer 2 firewall. Layer 2 firewall. You can say layer 2 firewall box, or you can say transparent firewall. Transparent firewall. So remember always, you can use your firewall device as a layer 3 firewall box, or you can use as a layer 2 firewall box. Layer 2 firewall box. In case if you have a layer 3 device, for example, this firewall is acting as a layer 3, for example. So these interfaces are called layer 3 interfaces. So you can configure IP address here. You can configure IP address on each interfaces. It's a layer 3, for example. In case if I'm using this firewall box as a layer 3 firewall box, so each interfaces are layer 3 interface. We can configure IP address here. We can configure routing onto this firewall device. We can configure NAT. We can configure VPN. And yes, it's a next generation firewall. So we can use next generation firewall feature, no problem. Okay, so we can work with layer 3 firewall box. What about layer 2? What about layer 2 firewall box? So you can say layer 2, or you can say transparent firewall. Layer 3 firewall box, it's called NAT mode firewall. So don't confuse. You can say rooted firewall device, you can say NAT mode firewall device, you can say L3 firewall device. Layer 2 firewall box, it's known as transparent firewall. So in case if this firewall device is acting as a layer 2 firewall box, for example. So these interfaces are called layer 2 interfaces. It's not a switch port, okay? It's not a switch port, no. It's a layer 2 interface. It means we cannot configure IP address on these interfaces. Okay, these are the layer 2 interfaces now. Now onto this layer 2 firewall box, we cannot configure routing, we cannot configure NAT, we cannot configure VPN. That is the issue. That is the limitation we have in layer 2 firewall. So the point is, with layer 3 firewall box, we have great feature, right, everyone? With layer 3, we have great feature. We can configure IP address. We can connect layer 3 firewall box with internet. It means we can configure routing. We can configure NAT. We can configure VPN. But with layer 2 firewall box, we have limitations, right? We have some limitations. So the scenario is, so the task is, in this scenario, we can use our firewall box as a layer 2 firewall box. So I will tell you the scenario, okay, where we can use our firewall box as a layer 2 firewall box. We'll discuss. We have a dedicated topic for layer 2 firewall discussion. Clear my point? Bhaskar, any question? Leena, Mahesh, any question? Rajneesh, Amit, Ahmed, Ruchika.
Then what is the use of this L2 firewall? Any specific case we are going to use that, or it is not in use?
I told you I will discuss in topic, but no problem. If you want to discuss right now, no problem. We can discuss. No problem.
Yeah, I want.
No problem. See guys, so I told you we can use our firewall device as a layer 3 firewall box, right? So with layer 3 firewall box, what we can do, we can configure IP address on interfaces. So we are familiar with the, you can say we are familiar with layer 2 firewall box, but layer 3 firewall box, but layer 2 firewall box where we can use, because with layer 2 we have limitations, right? We have limitations. So let's talk about scenario where we can use our firewall device as a layer 2 firewall box. So for example, I'm working in a existing routing switching scenario. For example, here we have a router, okay, and this side we have a switch, for example, multiple computers, you can say, and this portion is a WAN portion. So here we have an existing routing switching scenario. Into this existing routing switching scenario, everything is working fine. This PC is sending traffic to the switch is forwarding traffic to the router. And based on his routing table, a router is forwarding this traffic to the outside, no problem. Everything is working fine into this topology. Now, as an administrator, now I want to deploy a firewall here. Now I want to filter my traffic. For example, I want to filter my traffic. So that's why I want to deploy a firewall box here. In case, see, before deploy your firewall device, you can see this is your LAN subnet, single subnet. This is your WAN subnet, WAN side. So now, in case, wait. In case if I'm using my firewall device here, wait. If I'm using my firewall box here in inline mode, and this firewall device I'm using as a layer 3, for example, first, if I'm using this firewall box as a layer 3 firewall box, it means these interfaces are acting as a layer 3 interfaces. It means these each interface, they are participating in different subnet. So if you deploy your firewall device as a layer 3 firewall box, what you need to do, you need to change existing IP address scheme. Now your single subnet is divided into multiple subnets. For example, see, here we have a different subnet now. Here we have a different subnet now. So that is the issue you can face if you are trying to deploy of layer 3 firewall box in any existing network. No problem. If you want to do this, you can do this. No problem. You can change IP address scheme. Okay, you can deploy your firewall device. No problem. You can do this. But in case I don't want to change anything. I don't want to change any IP address scheme into this existing scenario, but I want to deploy a next generation firewall, for example. So what I can do, I can deploy my firewall device as a layer 2 firewall box. If I'm using this device as a layer 2 firewall box, then I told you no need to configure IP address onto these interfaces, because these are called layer 2 interfaces. No need to deploy. But yes, you can define description. For example, this is for example port number 2. This is port number 1. It's a complete firewall box. Now, if you want to allow traffic from one interface to another interface, you need to configure firewall policy. It's a next generation firewall. So yes, you can use next generation firewall feature. Clear my point? In case everyone can hear me. Ahmed, Amit, Bhaskar, Mahesh, Leena, Ruchika, Rajni.
Yes, clear, sir. Clear.
So, Mr. Jitan, overall, you want to say like, except IP addressing, we can do all this. We can use all the services, right?
Yes, give me some time. Wait, let me complete this. Okay. So what we can do, we can no need to configure IP address here. Okay. Now, so my point is what, in case if you want to deploy a firewall device in a live network, and you don't want to change anything. So yes, you can deploy your firewall device as a layer 2 firewall box. So, guys, layer 2, you can say, or you can say transparent firewall box. So this firewall mode, Ahmed, we can use most of the time. We are using in a existing data center network. Clear? In data center, most of the time we are using, because in data center we cannot change anything. Okay, all the subnets are configured. Okay, no need to change anything. I don't want to change anything. So yes, I can, but I want to use firewall feature. So yes, I can deploy my firewall box as a layer 2 firewall box. Ruchika, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is just a scenario. Okay, now let's talk about next topic. So yes, we can use our firewall device as a layer 2 firewall box. Now let's talk about next concept. It's called logging and monitoring. What is logging and monitoring? See guys, so once you configure everything, for example, your NAT policy, your firewall policy, for example, your security profile, everything is working fine. Okay, routing working fine. So now I want to verify the log information because I want to troubleshoot my network. For troubleshooting, yes, I need to verify logs. I need to monitor the traffic information. So in login and monitoring, what you can do, you can work with logs. Here you are not configuring anything. Here you are trying to verify. For example, if someone will hit on your NAT policy, if someone will hit on your firewall policy, if someone will hit on your antivirus profile, for example, if there is any packet loss in routing. So yes, you need to go with the login and monitoring concept. And to store log, we have two options. Either you can store your log in local database. Yes, I will tell you how to store the log in local database. But in case if you are working in a big network, for example, you have a remote logging server. For example, you have a syslog server or SNMP server. So yes, I can tell you how to send logs on syslog server and on SNMP server. No problem. I will show you. So for all kind of log, we can go with the chapter number 11. It's called login and monitoring, like VPN logs, high availability log, okay, antivirus profile logs. We can verify all type of log. Now in login and monitoring, we can discuss one more information. It's called packet capture. For packet capture, we can go with the graphical page. And yes, we can go with the CLI option. Both options are available to capture your packet. For example, live packet, if you want to capture and if you want to verify, I will show you both options with graphical page, and we can go with the CLI option. Now, next topic is called chapter number 12 and 13. These two topics are dedicated for VPN concept. So here, first we will discuss about the basic idea. What is VPN concept? Why we are using? What is the feature to use VPN concept? If you talk about implementation, everyone, so we can discuss two types of implementation. First one is called IPsec VPN, and second option we have, it's called SSL VPN. IPsec we are using for site to site VPN connectivity. For example, you have multiple branch office. Okay, and if you want to connect these branch office, for example, this is ISP network, you can say public network, you can say untrusted network, you can say. So here we have multiple branch offices. For example, one branch office is in a Delhi, one branch office in a Bangalore, one branch office is in a Noida. So if you want to connect these branch office over this public network in a secure manner, if you want to connect, so you can go with a site-to-site VPN configuration. For site-to-site, you can go with IPsec option for site-to-site connectivity. In Fortinet, we will discuss 3 labs for site-to-site VPN connectivity. First lab, we can focus on route-based site-to-site VPN. Second lab we have, it's called policy-based site-to-site VPN. And third option is called template-based site-to-site VPN. So we have 3 labs for only site-to-site VPN implementation. Okay, for after site-to-site, we can focus on next VPN implementation. It's called remote access VPN. What is remote access VPN? So in remote access VPN, you can say this home user, you can say, or this remote user, you can say. Okay, wait. Guys, wait 1 minute. Okay, everyone, can you hear me? Ahmed, Amit, Bhaskar, Leena, Mahesh, Rajneesh, Ruchika.
We're fine.
In remote access
Yes.
VPN, what we have in remote access VPN, you can say this remote user, you can say, or this home user, you can say. He has a simple Wi-Fi modem at his home, or you can say he has an internet connectivity. And this outside user, remote user, you can say, or home user, you can say, he's trying to access company private resources. For example, this is your VPN gateway device. And on DMZ side, we have multiple servers. On DMZ side, we have multiple servers. For example, web server, SMTP server, FTP server, DNS server. And this outside user, this remote user, he's trying to access company private resources over this public network. So what he need to do, he need to establish a connection first with his mobile phone, with his laptop or desktop, tablet. He need to establish a connection first. And this connection is called remote access VPN connection. Once this connection will establish, then yes, he's allowed, he can access company private resources over this remote access VPN connection. And the traffic is in between his laptop and this VPN gateway device is fully secured, fully encrypted. So here we have remote access VPN implementation. To connect branch offices, we can go with the site to site. To configure remote access, see, I told you to configure site to site, we have IPsec option. But to configure remote access, either you can go with the IPsec or you can go with the SSL VPN option. Both options are available for remote access VPN configuration. Here I will tell you what is the difference in between. What is the difference in between IPsec and SSL? Which one is the most popular option for remote access VPN configuration? I will tell you. So this chapter number 12 and 13, these two topics will take minimum 5 to 6 hours. Clear, Amit, Bhaskar, Leena, Mahesh, Rajneesh?
Yes, clear.
Chika.
Yes, sir.
Now we can go for the high availability. In Fortinet, you can say high availability. In Palo Alto, you can say high availability. In Cisco, you can say failover concept. In Checkpoint, you can say clustering concept. So why we need high availability concept? So for example, I have a firewall device. This is firewall device, and we have LAN portion, and this is WAN side. So everything is working fine into this topology. You can say, for example, here we have interface 0/0, fast Ethernet 0/1. We have an IP address 192.168.10.10, 10.1.23.1, for example. So into this topology, everything is working fine. You can say IP address configuration is done, routing is done. Okay, firewall policy, we are using firewall policy, NAT policy, VPN policy. Everything is fine. Okay, traffic is traveling through the firewall box. Okay, but now into this topology, we have an issue. We have a single firewall box right now. We have a single firewall box. In case if this box goes down, for example, this box down, so you will lost your connectivity. Your LAN user, they cannot go onto the internet side. That is the issue. So what we can do here into this topology, we can add one more firewall into this topology. I can add one more firewall box because I want to go with high availability option. So this firewall box I'm using for backup. You can say I'm using as a standby firewall box. So this is firewall box one. If you're trying, yes. Okay. So in case if you are trying to add this firewall box, what you need to do, you need to change your topology. So here we have a switch 2. This is your switch 1, and now this is your ISP side portion, and this side is LAN. So now if you talk about high availability, we will discuss two more. The first one is called active passive. Second option, we have active. In between firewall box 1 and firewall box 2, we are using a link. This link is called high availability link, or you can say failover link. Through this failover link, firewall box 1, he's sending a keep alive message. For example, if I'm working with active passive. So in active passive scenario, one firewall box is actively manage your traffic, while other device is unsynchronized, or you can say one device is acting as an active box, and other firewall box, or you can say a rest of the firewall box into this high availability cluster, they are acting as a standby, or they are acting as a passive firewall box. What is active means? It's a forwarded firewall device. It means traffic is traveling via this firewall box. In case, see, traffic is traveling and now this box is active. This box is active. So firewall box 1, he's sending a keep alive message. He's sending a keep alive message through this failover link. Firewall box 1 is sending keep alive message to firewall box 2. He's telling what? I'm active. He's telling I'm active. So firewall box 2, its state is what? Passive state. In case if this box goes down, for example, and firewall box 2, he's not getting any hello packet through this failover link. He's not getting any hello packet. So he will get an idea. Okay, I think firewall box 1 is down. And now I'm going to change my mode. Now I'm going to become active. And when this box will become active, now traffic is automatically traveling via firewall box 2. Right now I'm giving you the basic idea. Okay, but we'll discuss scenario here. Ahmed, this will take minimum 2 to 3 hours to finish it. High availability concept. Clear now? But my point is what? In active passive, you can utilize one firewall box. In case if you want to utilize all the firewall box into your high availability cluster, you can go with the active concept. Ahmed, clear? Amit,
Yes, clear. Yes, clear.
Bhaskar, Leena, any question? Mahesh,
No, sir.
Jessica?
Okay.
So these are the core topics, right?
Yes, you are right.
Yeah.
These are the
Can I? Is it like if I'm not so like DNS filtering and DDoS attack, user-based policy, MAC address-based policy, IPS policy, antivirus profile policy? These are also we're going to cover on this.
Antivirus policy, antivirus profile.
Antivirus profile policy, yeah. Antivirus file filtering, okay. And MAC address-based policy, IPS and user-based policy,
MAC address
DDoS
based,
attack.
MAC address based, it's not a policy, it's a small task.
Okay.
You can create
So these
just wait. You can create MAC address object, and your object you can attach with policy.
okay. DNS also we're going to cover, right?
DNS is not part of this training, but it's not a big deal. I can tell you.
Yeah, because okay.
It's an important topic.
IPS is also,
DNS is an important topic, I think, right, Mesh?
yeah. IPS
DNS is very important topic, I think. What do you
for
think?
me.
DNS is very important topic, right?
I think every topic is important.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
IPS is also there, no?
No, IPS is not. IPS is not part of this training, but I can share some slides. Okay, if you want, if you want, so I can share some slide for IPS discussion. No problem.
Yeah.
Clear my point, everyone? Topics, everyone. We have 14 modules. Total training will take 24 to 26 hours. Clear now? This is just an introduction session. Now we can start our topic from next weekend. Our timing is fixed. Please connect at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is our time. Now, please share your email ID after this session. Please share your email ID so that I can share this today's session recording and some slides, notes, lab setup software. Okay, Ahmed?
Okay, so for the day, it will be Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, it's a Sunday this side. Okay, Sunday this
Yes.
side. So now you will continue. You can connect your session in next weekend, Ahmed.
2 days or 1 day?
No, it's a Saturday Sunday session. We can say
Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Oh,
Okay, I will tell you the date. No problem.
okay.
Ruchika, Rajneesh, Mahesh, Leena, Bhaskar, Amit, Ahmed. Bye everyone. Take care, guys.
Thank you, sir. Take
Okay,
care.
take care, sir. Bye.